Original post, June 4, 2024. My girlfriend Anna, 32 female, and I, 35 male, are currently living in a house that I own since before the start of our relationship. Anna's best friend, Catherine, 33 female, and I never really got along. Partially maybe because we're very different types of people, but primarily it's because she doesn't approve of the fact that Anna and I have an open relationship. Ever since Anna disclosed this fact to Catherine, she accused me of cheating and that I pressured Anna into it. Our interactions have gone from frosty to cold. And just to set the record straight, it's not cheating. Cheating absolutely exists in open relationships, the thresholds are just set through discussion and neither of us ever did anything that's against these agreed upon hard rules ever. Also, neither one of us pressured the other one, we just had a conversation early in our relationship about why our previous relationships failed and realized that both of us struggled with relationships getting routine, and we weren't ready to mothball the thrill and excitement of meeting and dating new people yet. As we're both not particularly jealous people, we decided to try a non-monogamous relationship, and it worked well for us ever since. I also already tried explaining this to Catherine once or twice, so from my point of view I did my due diligence to have a good relationship with her, but her perception of that might differ. Anyways, last week Anna had an unexpected emergency call from Catherine and, as it turns out, she's serving her hubby with divorce papers because he had a secret affair over the last few months. As a good friend does, Anna immediately invited her friend to stay at our place for a few weeks until things are sorted out. Catherine doesn't have family here, but we both have beds in our respective home offices, and so in her mind, it was the perfect solution. When Anna told me a few minutes after the call, I quickly had to pump the brakes. I'm not going to lie that the idea of having a hostile house guest in my own home isn't unappealing on its own already, but that's not even my main reason. Both Anna and I have friends with benefits that occasionally stay over when Anna works night shift or I'm traveling for work, and they also visit just for the occasional, platonic movie night or dinner party. Friends with benefits are friends after all. Now, having Catherine here would mean we'd either have to significantly scale back these relationships for an undetermined length of time or have them over anyways. As I imagine Catherine is probably even less tolerant towards perceived infidelity right now, that would probably just be a hostile experience for our other partners. Both of these things, to me, sound unfair towards me and our secondary relationships. As we always saw these as real relationships that deserve respect and consideration just as much as our relationship, within some increments of prioritization of course. I told Anna that I don't want Catherine living here. Anna pretty much saw my reasoning right away and, given that I own the house, apologized for her rushed invitation and called Catherine to take it back. But since then, the situation has gotten out of hand, to be honest. Our friends are pretty much split along the lines of it's your house, and wow, you put Catherine on the streets just because of your side chicks? And Catherine kicked the conversation up an additional notch by insinuating that I'm trying to isolate Anna from her, and just said no because I hate that they are friends. For the record, I never had a problem with their friendship, nor did I ever do anything to limit it. Anyways, I'm increasingly starting to wonder if my objection has been worth it and the right call, or if it's been unfair towards Catherine. So am I the asshole? Edit. Maybe to clarify, Catherine has never been outwardly aggressive or offensive against me. It's always been insinuations and probably gossip. Relevant comments. Comment 1, not the asshole. It should have been discussed with you prior to offering, but Anna seems pretty rational, and course-corrected. There are plenty of ways for Anna to support Catherine other than to bring this person into your home that judges you and does not accept your relationship. Your objection is worth it, as it sounds like if Catherine moves in for a term she will serve to cause you problems and frustration. OP, given how much she's already managing to do that from the outside, inviting her in is basically out of the question at this point. My ideas for extending the olive branch would have been apologizing, maybe trying to find an apartment or a very short stay. Comment 2, not the asshole, and Catherine's reaction is all the proof you needed to keep her out of your house. Also, you're not making her homeless, she is. She could have told the cheater to leave. OP, actually one of the compromises I suggested when telling Anna no, was to take in Catherine's hubby for a month on a purely functional, a bed-to-sleep basis, but basically Catherine doesn't want to be at their shared home right now because the affair also took place there. Update 1, June 16, 2024. It was reassuring that so many people agreed we weren't out of line and we should stick with our decision. Even more helpful were the questions about why we didn't turn the tables, get in front of the supposed backlash, and say, well, why don't you host her then? What can I say except that we're not located somewhere where everyone from your barber to your second cousin will blow up your inbox and call you an asshole to your face on behalf of a third party. We only heard about the criticism against us through the grapevine and we didn't really have a specific person to say, well then you take her, too. But after reading your comments, Anna got the idea to let out a WhatsApp broadcast to our shared friend group. It basically said that we're feeling guilty because of Catherine's situation, and that it was crappy to make a promise and then take it back. But we simply realized that our lifestyle seemed like it might be triggering to her in her current situation that would be uncomfortable for everyone involved. But we'd be happy to help someone who'll take her in whatever way we can. Cue the crickets. That was the moment we realized that maybe there were less people on Catherine's side than we initially assumed. Actually, only one couple, who were friends with both Catherine and her hubby, reached out to invite us to dinner, apparently to share some things we weren't aware of yet. First of all, according to them, the affair wasn't the carnal thing Catherine made it out to be, and more of a falling out of love situation on the husband's side that has long been coming. Basically, he met someone, and that made him realize that his marriage was dead. And he did the moral thing and broke up with Catherine. No one is 100% sure if there's been something physical before that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was all in Catherine's head. Anyways, as for the whole smear campaign lodged against us, turns out that the whole drama apparently consisted of only 3 things. 1. Catherine trying to pressure us, and consciously or unconsciously sowing rumors that everybody is really angry with us. 2. A single couple that stood on Catherine's side. 3. And a lot of people hoping to not get pulled into a war of roses and just nodding politely. The couple that was on Catherine's side are the friends that Catherine hit up right after us, by the way. The dinner party friends theory is that they threw us under the bus and fed into Catherine's outrage because that couple has a young daughter, and we know for a fact that Catherine has just as many Karen-style convictions about parenting as she has about relationship styles. Anyways, Catherine is now basically ostracized, moved in with family a bit outside the city, and is working remotely until she finds a condo to haunt this city from again. I also want to clarify a few things from the original post. To the people that insinuated that I pressured Anna into this relationship or keep her on a short leash, given how NM dating works out for different genders, trust me when I tell you she isn't lacking options to get out of this relationship if she wanted. To the ones that criticized her for not standing up for me, I consciously didn't want to include this part because I didn't want to invite judgment of Anna. Yeah, hindsight is 20/20, but that has been a dicey subject in our relationship. But after having Anna's explicit permission to share this here now, there's actually a lot of backstory with Catherine adopting a loner Anna into her friend group back in their school days, and Anna somehow still feeling like she needed to earn her place in the friend group and be grateful for Catherine. She's currently looking into going to therapy for that. Finally, I want to add a last bit of positive news coming out of this. This whole fiasco made Anna and me talk through the whole someone else moving in topic. It's not really something we're going to do in the near future, but Anna told me that there's one person she's currently seeing with whom she might be eventually moving in that direction. And this time she asked me early if I'd be okay with her moving in with us somewhere in the future. I kind of like that Catherine would probably hate that this is the outcome of her whole tantrum. But other than that, I'm really happy things are mainly back to normal now. Story 2, my husband cheated on me with my sister. Original post, May 8, 2024. My sister's bestie told me that she feels guilty for being a snitch, but that she couldn't do this to me anymore because she thinks that I am a kind person and don't deserve this. My sister and my husband have always got along very well. They're both brilliant. Both lecturers at the university and they have so much in common. I am not stupid, but I never loved school and I have a high school education. They have become best friends throughout the years, but never once did I feel uncomfortable about it since my husband has shown me nothing but love and respect. The opposite. Until now I counted myself lucky that the two people that I love the most in this world get along so well. But now, I feel nauseated. The bestie sent me screenshots upon screenshots of her conversation with my sister. My sister has feelings for my husband, and she appears to know that my husband feels the same way about her too. In one of the texts, my sister wrote that she loved me too much to do anything to hurt me. In another, she wrote that I am too dear to both her and my husband to do anything that would hurt me. She seems to think that they're soulmates, which is odd because the talk about soulmates came up once between my husband and I when I told him that I didn't want us to be soulmates. He was curious and asked me why. I told him because soulmates meant that we are programmed or destined to fit together. There's no free will involved and I want my love to come from a free space, not a predestined place. He laughed and said he loved that. But apparently they're soulmates? I know that I need to talk to him, but I am dreading that. I am in so much despair right now. Relevant comment. Comment 1. If what the friend sent you is true, you need to take a moment and gather your thoughts before this talk you need to have with your husband. If possible, check his phone so you have a first-hand look at the communication, not the friend's one. If real, the emotional affair is more than enough of a betrayal. OP, for me even an emotional affair is a deal breaker, unfortunately. Update 1, same day. Hi. Thanks for your help. I asked how I would be sure before asking my husband, so he doesn't just blatantly lie, and you suggested to look into his phone. Thanks for your suggestion. I did now. I told him about my sister's conversations with her best friend and showed him the screenshots. He was shocked at first and said he had no romantic feelings for her, and he had no idea about her feelings, so I asked to see his phone. I read their texts and emails. And I was shocked that their contact is way more intense than I thought. They talk on a daily basis. They have lunch multiple times a week. Nothing sexual in the texts, but yeah, he is stupid if he doesn't know that she loves him, and he must think that I am stupid if after reading, I wouldn't get the feeling that he has some feelings too. In one of her texts, she wrote that she wished they had met first and under different circumstances. His answer wasn't totally dismissive. He wrote, yeah, it would probably have been different. When I asked him about it, he said, well yeah, if he didn't know and love me he would probably have been interested in another, my sister included. But he loves me, and she is a close friend of his. So there's no sexual relationship between them, but I am not sure that is enough for me. I think they are both wrong and should have nipped it in the bud way earlier. I don't know what to do now. I think I need time for myself to process this. I don't feel well at all about this, and I don't want to make decisions from a place of fear and hurt, or convenience. I am sorry I can answer all private messages. Because I don't use my phone that often. But our ages are, my husband is 45. I am 42. My sister is 38. My husband and I have been together for 16 years, and married for 14. My sister is single. I am not a stay-at-home mom. I have my own business. We don't have children. My sister has 2 from a previous relationship. Update 2, May 9, 2024. So now I have had some long talks and discussions with my husband. He seems to think that this is getting bigger than it is supposed to because I told him that I needed time alone to think and digest this. He said that he doesn't understand why I am this hurt since he loves me and nobody else. I didn't relent, however, and he admitted that he knows that my sister is in love with him because she has told him so. But she knows that nothing can happen between them, so she is fine with just friendship. He loves her but not romantically, and he is happy to have a friend like her. Their friendship is important to him, and he doesn't want it to end because I don't trust him in his love for me. He made a comparison to my best friend and asked what I would think if he asked me to cut my best friend from my life. He admitted that intellectually he has more in common with her than with me. But that the heart doesn't always choose who we are more compatible, and that he loves and is physically attracted to me. I think this whole situation is messed up. I am repulsed by them both. I texted my sister all her screenshots and she wrote that she was disappointed in her bestie and that, your husband is all yours because I would never let anything happen that would hurt you because you are the most important person to me. In other words, they are both contradicting each other since both seem to believe that they are the one who is not letting a relationship between them grow for my sake. Relevant comments. Comment 1, how did he act? Was he truly shocked? Why did he hide how intense their communication was? OP, he was probably more shocked that my sister is talking to her friend about this. Otherwise, he knows everything and probably likes it or he would have stopped it. Comment 2, other women's husbands are not your soulmates. As an academic, I know academics are often very emotionally dysregulated individuals inclined to abstract and even magical thinking. Are you sure she isn't delusional? They both sound like idiots. OP, they are idiots, yes. If I was her, and I had developed feelings for my sister's husband, I would have nipped it immediately. She is not a heroine for not wanting to hurt me and sacrificing her happiness instead. If I was him, I would have immediately gone no contact with someone who has feelings for me. If we are to believe that he doesn't reciprocate her feelings like he is pretending, if I had any respect for my spouse. So they are both idiots, yes. Update 3, June 15, 2024, 5 weeks later. I have written here about my soon-to-be ex-husband and my sister. I left him about a week after and he texted me day and night about how much he loved me and wanted me back, then he just stopped. That's when I found out that my sister left her children at my parents' house and moved in with my husband. This made everything come out to the rest of my family and my parents were shocked. My mother really looked like she was already showing PTSD symptoms. About how disgusting she felt this whole thing was. She kept calling it incest and asking, is that even legal? I guess that is how much my sister cared not to hurt me. Even though I have been well composed and calm that I surprised myself, I still tried my hardest to look back on my whole life, childhood, and upbringing to understand when it all went so wrong. What my sister did felt like something that was the result of years of resentment or at least indifference towards me and our relationship as sisters, so how did I miss that? She never cared about me, did she? If she didn't, how could I have been so blind? Then not even a week later, I heard that they have ended things. I found out in the oddest way possible. My sister texted me. The first time she texted me since everything started. She just wrote, "I hope you burn in life and in hell." I was very confused because she spent that week sharing cheesy quotes about love and soulmates, and romantic Instagram stories with my husband. But apparently, that was over. He has blocked her everywhere and she moved out. Because she came to my parents to get her children and had a meltdown when they asked for an explanation. My husband started calling and texting me again asking me to meet because he wanted to explain because he loved me and wanted me to understand. He wanted to meet at least once before we started to meet with the lawyers involved. So that is that. This has left me even more confused than if they just ended up together. I understand falling out and in love. Breaking up and starting anew, but I can't explain this. My husband keeps calling me his only love and true friend, and my sister, until I left, kept promising that she would never do anything to hurt me. She left her children at my parents' doorstep and didn't answer their calls or texts for a week. And all of this for a week? What were they thinking? Has anyone here heard of something like this happening? People throwing everything for not even a week? New post, June 15th, same day. After 1 week of being in love, and my sister leaving her children at my parents' door to live in my home with my soon-to-be ex-husband, and flaunting everything on social media and sharing cheesy quotes, she moved back to her apartment and got her children from my parents. They aren't friends on Facebook and he unfollowed her on Instagram. Now she is saying that I have ruined her happiness and he started texting me again begging me to talk in private because he needed to explain everything before we started getting our lawyers involved between us. I understand that people fall out of love and sometimes they can't control who they fall for, and they can hurt many people around them, but I never heard of two people throwing everything they pretended to care about for 1 week. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Speak to my attorney. I'd have that as my outgoing voice message. OP, I haven't answered any calls from him, his family, or unknown numbers. I don't answer any texts either. Comment 2. Men come and go, but a sister doing this is a fucking abomination. I could not imagine betraying my sisters like this. She ruined her own life. What is she blaming you for? Being married to her affair partner? I'd let her sorry ass have him. OP, she can most certainly have him. Comment 3, I'm curious to know what his family could even try and say. Like what? OP, I don't have a great relationship with his family, especially his mother. We lost our child, and they blamed me for us not wanting more children afterwards, when it was both of our decisions. Comment 4, it's even worse that they are harassing you on his behalf. Also sorry for your loss, child, and relationships. OP, I don't know if they are harassing me on his behalf to be honest since I haven't answered them. They could be as confused as I am, and he could be ghosting them. Not taking any chances anyway. Thank you. Comment 5, so they actually admitted to being together? Did they admit to the affair? OP, I don't know to be honest. I don't think he knew that I knew they were together until he found out she was sharing it on Instagram. Comment 6, this is the thing with infatuation or a crush. You build someone up in your mind, but the reality is so very different. It's funny that it only took 1 week for them to fall apart. Your sister dumping her kids speaks volumes about the type of person she is. I hope her life is hell, I hope karma screws her to the maximum. Go see him, let him explain, get your closure, and for the love of all that is holy, cut your sister off. OP, as much as I am confused and want answers, I don't want to get them from him. I don't know how the divorce will be done and if I am going to need to see him or not, hopefully not, but if it happens, my lawyer can do the talking. That's why I am here instead. Maybe people here have experience of something similar and can explain WTF happened these past 2 months. It's one thing to cheat on your sister, but to brag about it on Instagram is crazy. Also, OP and her husband hadn't announced they were getting a divorce, so everyone learned about it from her sister's Instagram. Obviously, OP's ex is just as bad, but OP's sister not being able to keep her mouth shut to first her friend, then letting everyone know on Instagram. Like I would think a so-called intellectual would be smarter than that. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, I will see you in the next one.